Every one of us is tasked with bringing the world to perfection. This week's Parashah reveals a secret to help us do just that. The month of May was Mental Health Awareness Month in Canada. Every October, we have World Mental Health Day. European Mental Health Week was a few weeks ago. I'd like to propose that this week, the week of Parashah Beha'alotcha, be Jewish Mental Health Week. One of the many things I love about Judaism is how we view important figures in the Torah. Moshe, Aaron, our forefathers, prophets, and kings. While they are certainly larger than life, they are decidedly human. They are not perfect, they make mistakes, they suffer consequences, and they struggle with all the same things that we struggle with. Now, there are certainly those in the Jewish world who are uncomfortable with this and prefer to explain away seeming weaknesses and mistakes. But to me, it's those very weaknesses and mistakes that make these people so relevant to us. Knowing that Aaron made the mistake of building the golden calf and was still able to do teshuvah and become the Kohen Gadol gives all of us hope that we can recover from our mistakes, even big ones. To be clear, I'm neither a doctor nor a psychologist. I'm not qualified to diagnose anyone with anything. And who am I to try to diagnose biblical figures? Certainly not based on a few lines written 3,500 years ago. But with all of that in mind, let's do some amateur psychoanalysis of Moshe in this week's Parashah. In chapter 11, we find ourselves at the foot of Mount Sinai, 1 year after the Exodus. And the people do what they have done many times since Moshe came onto the scene. We read, the people took to complaining bitterly before Hashem. What are they complaining about? The Parashah continues. If only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we used to eat for free in Egypt. The people have been sustained for a year with miraculous manna from heaven, and here they are complaining, longing for the good old days of Egypt. How does Moshe respond? Even not being a psychologist, I think it's fair to say that he was distressed. Why is that fair to say? Well, the Torah spells it out. Moshe heard the people weeping, every clan apart at the entrance of every tent. Hashem was very angry, and Moshe was distressed. But I'd argue that distressed is an understatement. Let's read on. And Moshe said to Hashem, why have you dealt ill with your servant, and why have I not enjoyed your favor, that you have laid the burden of all this people upon me? That sounds more than just distressed. Maybe despondent is a better term. But let's read on. Did I produce all these people? Did I engender them that you should say to me, carry them in your bosom as a caregiver carries an infant to the land that you have promised on oath to their fathers? I cannot carry all this people by myself. It is too much for me. Those are very strong words. Is Moshe depressed? Would it be out of line to say that he's maybe even suicidal? How can I say that? Well, let's read on. If you would deal thus with me, kill me, I beg you, and let me see no more of my wretchedness. Moshe asks Hashem's help to end it. When anyone who is distressed or depressed expresses the desire to end their life, we need to take it seriously. But this is not just anyone. This is Moshe speaking. When he asks Hashem for something, things happen. Asking Hashem to kill him is something we can't ignore. So here's Moshe, the greatest of all the prophets, the most humble of all men, crying out for help. What do we do when someone we care for is depressed, maybe even suicidal? Hashem teaches us how to respond to such a cry for help. Hashem doesn't ignore it. Hashem doesn't say, suck it up. We read, then Hashem said to Moshe, gather for me 70 of Israel's elders and bring them to the tent of meeting, and let them take their place there with you. I will come down and speak with you there, and I will draw upon the spirit that is on you and put it upon them. Hashem effectively says, Moshe, I hear your pain. I'm here for you, and you have a community around you that is here to help. You don't have to go through this alone. Chaverim, my friends, there is a reason we have Mental Health Awareness Day and week and month. So many among us across the globe, young and old, rich and poor, are struggling with mental health. Children and teenagers are experiencing levels of anxiety and depression unheard of in past generations. And in the Jewish community, the mental health struggles the rest of society are facing are compounded by the post-October 7th reality, where once safe spaces are now safe for everyone except Jews. Every time we hear of a violent incident in an even remotely Jewish area, our first thought is, has the globalization of the Intifada that college of students are rallying in favor of reached our community? There's hardly a person among us who isn't to some degree anxious, distressed, or despondent, or even depressed. And for many, it's even more severe than that. The reason such episodes are in the Torah is so that we can learn from them. So let's respond as Hashem does. When we see a friend, a coworker, a neighbor, someone from shul, or even someone you know only online showing signs, don't ignore it. Don't think, this is none of my business. They'll figure it out. Don't tell them to suck it up. Instead, let's all say, I hear your pain. I'm here for you, and you have a community around you that is here to help you. If you are suffering, know that there are people who care and resources inside and outside the Jewish community that can give you the support you need. And if you or anyone you know is in crisis, call or text 988 in Canada or the US for immediate help. Let our community share the burden with you. You shall not bear it alone. That's one thing we could learn from this week's Parsha. How will you step up this week to bring the world a little closer to perfection? Shabbat Shalom and Am Yisroel Chai.